In this video, I'm going to go over what I found inside the Northeast Economic Engine report that was put out by Farm Credit East. Real quick, Farm Credit East is where I have the land loan for the 6.74 acres of rural land upon which this barn sits that you see behind me. Yes, this is specific to the Northeast, but I did look it up. Most of this holds true nationwide and even into Canada. A lot of people don't realize that there is information like this available to you out there from Farm Credit, from the USDA. All of these different places aggregate this data because they want to make it easier for everyday people to get involved in farming. And believe me, we need more everyday people to get involved in farming. So I'm going to go over the top 5 most profitable agricultural sectors according to this, and I'm going to give you guys some ideas for how you can make money in each one of those sectors based on my own personal experience selling at my farm stand, farming for the first time this summer, and just from my general entrepreneurial research because I love looking up side hustles and different alternative ways people are making money through small businesses. Number 1 is dairy and milk production. This is because I am reading a Northeast report. However, I do predict that this is going to become more popular in the coming years. I think we're going to start to see families and small communities go in on a dairy cow together because more research has come out showing that oat milk, almond milks, all of these alternative milks are not necessarily as good for us as we might have thought that they were. And harvesting things like the almonds for the almond milk is actually really terrible for the environment. I'm happy to break down the research and the science behind all of that, but I am predicting we are going to see a resurgence in people leaning more towards actual organic cow milk that was not harvested at a massive conglomerate agricultural operation, which is where all of the different things can go wrong with these products. If you're wondering how one gets involved in dairy farming, I can tell you from going to so many dairy farms in this area, they are more than happy to allow you to apprentice them. If you can find one within an hour or 2 hours of your home and call them up and say, hey, I'm willing to work for 1 to 2 hours a day for free if you will let me shadow your operation and get to know more about what actually goes into dairy farming. I have not heard a single farmer here say they would turn somebody away for offering free help like that. These people are charitable. They understand that if the whole community thrives, like we all rise together. They're not this like, you can't have my secrets types of people. If you are willing to offer up free help, apprentice shadowing them, every single time they are going to take you up on that offer. And again, I'm a huge proponent of, I believe the days of massive farming are going to be over pretty soon. I think we're going to see this return to micro farming, community farming, family farming, more small scale farming the way it was always intended to be, providing and delivering products to people in your immediate area and not putting it on a plane to be flown 2,000 miles away. Number 2 is my favorite, and anybody who has been on TikTok or Instagram would know what number 2 is about to be because we have seen this industry explode in the last year. Greenhouse, nursery, and floriculture production, aka flowers, and of course greenhouse activity. I have seen so many people on TikTok and Instagram post that they are making 6 figures with flower farming. This can be a variety of growing the flowers, cutting the flowers, selling them at a farm stand, selling them at a farmer's market. Pick your own flowers has become really popular. Doing different types of products and displays with the flowers. My only thing is if you're gonna do this, please for me, leave 10 to 20% of the flowers not cut in the ground where they belong for all of the pollinators. It does break my heart when somebody gets involved with flower gardening and cuts down every single flower to make as much money as possible, leaving the pollinators starving because the smell and all of that, the colors of your flowers did lure them in the first place. So please keep some of the flowers in the ground for the pollinators if you are going to do that. Another thing I've learned on this journey is that many states, programs, the Cornell Co-op, even the USDA do have free high tunnel initiatives. High tunnel is just another name for an outdoor greenhouse. If you are thinking about gardening or farming, I would highly recommend pursuing this because for free, you can get one of these high tunnels and start a greenhouse nursery type of business without that much experience, which is actually exactly what you see me doing behind me in this Amish built barn center. I am debating getting a high tunnel for myself to move the shelving into the greenhouse so that I can use this space for more possibly workshops or art activities. Number 3 is vegetable gardening. This also does not surprise me because as someone who just started farming in July for the first time, I was able to successfully grow pumpkins. They are not hard to grow. I quite literally scattered the seeds. And for September and October, my pumpkins made me well over $50 every single day at my farm stand. There is a demand for vegetables. There is a demand for local, organic, non-pesticide vegetables, vegetables grown without tilling the ground, all of that. There is a demand for it, and people will come to your farm stand to buy these vegetables. Number 4 is fruit farming, which I am just getting started with. I planted 4 apple trees and 4 pear trees in the front of my property. I know it might take a couple years for them to fruit. Behind me, I also have a Concord grape plant. I'm hoping to train over a trellis come this spring. If this sounds like impressive, the jargon I am using, trust me, I really have no idea what I'm doing, and I just learned all of this in the past few months. So I really believe if I can do this alone, you can do this. There is demand, again, for local fruits, and if you want to invest in something that is going to fruit for you much sooner than a tree, berries, bushes, grapes, all of that is absolutely an option. People are so interested in buying food that they believe is actually going to help their bodies on a cellular level. They're interested in buying food that is not covered in pesticides, that is safe for their family and for their children. So if you can provide that for them, they will buy it from you. I can attest to this from the crazy things I've had for sale at my farm stand. I actually have been growing catnip inside, drying it, grinding it down for cats and selling it at my farm stand. There's an interest in that. There's an interest in anything you grow that is not being grown like the things we are accustomed to from the last 40 years. That's just saturated in crap that is awful for you. If you're gonna grow things that is not saturated in crap, people will buy it from you, trust me. People want to invest in small and local farms. Set up an Instagram and make it easier for them to find you. And you can also do the pick your own element with all of the things that I'm listing here. You can even do tours. You can do agricultural tours to allow the public to come check out your organic operation. When I say organic, meaning you don't till, you don't spray pesticides, that's enough. That's cool to people. They want to come learn about it. I would come learn about it. And the 5th most profitable thing is grain and oilseed farming. I assume oilseed farming means pressing seeds for oil, all the seed oil activity in our country right now. But grains, I mean, I could grow rye, wheat, all sorts of things here. I'm debating doing it to make my own flour. I can bet you anything if I started producing my own flour here that was cut from the wheat here, processed at a mill, whatever. And if I started selling bags of my own flour at my farm stand, I would set a timer on how quickly somebody would come to the farm stand to purchase that flour. Everyone is aware that the flour in our country is cooked, is no good right now. Everyone is aware of it. I see people are buying their flour from Italy. So if you started producing and creating your own flour, which just involves growing a grain, cutting the grain, milling the grain, packaging the grain, any one of us could figure it out with a YouTube video, I would bet you anything that people would line up to buy that grain from you. If I am wrong, you can write it below. What is so cool about agricultural businesses to me and why I have such an interest in it right now is I believe they are multi-layered businesses, meaning one thing can make you money at multiple times. So for example, with a farm, you can grow food, your family can eat the food, saving you hundreds of dollars from the grocery store. People will buy your food at a farm stand. People will buy your food at a farmer's market. People will come on tours to learn about how you're growing your food. People will come to things like yoga or classes or workshops at your farm to be surrounded by your organic food. Like that's 6 things just off the top of my head. And I can attest firsthand to instantly making money from my farm stand the moment my farm was ready this summer. And I know that's a big fear for a lot of people is what if I sink all this money into this structure, into this property, how am I gonna pay it back? I can tell you, you're gonna pay it back with a farm stand. If you have a big family, send someone to a farmer's market right away, get the licensing for it. It doesn't look that hard. Call up your state, make sure you're compliant with whatever. For me in New York State, I do have to put the date a vegetable or whatever was cut and a sell by date. You know, just follow what you're supposed to be doing with it. Yes, big brother watching, whatever. I just am a least resistance person over here. I'm just trying to make my money, share what I learn about on the internet, and save bees. And I really don't want to deal with the government or permitting problems, so I just do what they ask and then I get over it. Again, excuse the echo you hear in this video. I am in a large barn center. This is not a living room. This is a work processing place. A priority of mine is not putting carpet down so there is no echo. It does not bother me because I'm so happy every single day I am in this structure staring at the genius craftsmanship and woodworking that went on from the amazing Amish community and Canada Harry that built it for me. Anyway, I hope this video helps assuage any fears people might be having about wanting to grow your own food, move to the country, move to the rural areas. Like I always say, $24 trillion worth of farmland is about to be for sale in our country. I think we are on the precipice of an agricultural revolution. I think we're going to start seeing rural, small communities pop up around certain fields, certain farms. I think it's going to be a beautiful sight, and it benefits all of us if everyday people like you and like me buy this farmland as opposed to foreign entities, developers. We don't need any more parking lots. Wall Street, we don't need any more expensive apartments. The future looks much happier, much more hopeful if you and I start doing all of these things I'm screaming about in these videos. So with that, hope you guys like this video. If you've been liking my content, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will link below to my magazine that I write in every single week called House of Green on Substack. Bye.